My name is Lauren Hayes. I'm 35 years old. 8 weeks ago, I sat in my parents' living room during what they called a family business discussion. 37 people filled their house in Seattle. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends, even my grandmother who'd flown in from Arizona. My father stood at the head of the table. "We've called everyone here because we need to address a situation with Lauren's company. She's being selfish and unreasonable, and we need family support to make her see reason." 37 people turned to look at me. My mother continued, "Lauren's best friend Jessica runs the marketing department at her software company, but our nephew, my sister's son Brandon, just got his MBA and needs a job. We've told Lauren she needs to fire Jessica and hire Brandon as VP of marketing. It's family. Family comes first." 37 witnesses heard my parents demand I fire my best friend and business partner to hire my unqualified cousin. But what they didn't know was that Jessica wasn't just the VP of marketing. She was my co-founder and owned 40% of the company. And what they really didn't know was that Brandon had already applied for a junior position at my company 6 months ago, and our HR director had a file folder full of documented harassment complaints from his interviews, including 3 women who'd reported him for inappropriate comments, sexual harassment, and hostile behavior before we'd even rejected his application. Before I tell you what happened when our HR director arrived at my parents' anniversary party with those documented complaints and a lawyer, please like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy this story. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it? I'd love to hear from you. Now let me take you back to where this really began. Growing up in Seattle, I learned early that my cousin Brandon was the golden child, and I was the overlooked one. My family consisted of my father, who ran a mid-level insurance agency, my mother, who worked part-time as a realtor, my Aunt Patricia, my mother's sister, who'd married wealthy, and her son Brandon, who could do no wrong. Brandon brought home entitlement. I brought home ambition. When I was 16, I built my first website for a local business, a bakery that needed online ordering. I taught myself HTML, CSS, basic e-commerce functionality. The website increased their sales by 40%. They paid me $800. I showed my parents the check, so excited about earning money doing something I loved. My father glanced at it. "That's nice, Lauren. Computer stuff. Very geeky." That same week, Brandon got his driver's license. Not early, not with honors. Just turned 16 and passed the test like everyone else. My parents threw a celebration dinner at his house, invited 30 people. My Aunt Patricia spent 2 hours talking about Brandon's maturity and responsibility. I told myself it was fine. Getting a license was a milestone. At 18, I got accepted to the University of Washington with a partial scholarship to study computer science. I wanted to build software, to create technology that solved real problems, to start my own company someday. My parents came to my high school graduation but left immediately after. Brandon was graduating from private school the same day, and that ceremony was more important. They gave me a card with $50 inside. For college. 2 years earlier, when Brandon graduated 8th grade with a 2.8 GPA, my aunt and uncle threw him a party that cost $10,000. They invited 80 people and gave him a $5,000 education fund. I told myself it was different. Brandon's family had more money. During college, I met Jessica. She was studying marketing and business, brilliant and creative and driven. We became best friends immediately. Junior year, we had an idea. An app that helped small businesses manage their social media marketing with AI assistance. Nothing like it existed yet. We spent every spare moment building it. I coded. Jessica handled market research, branding, user experience. We launched it senior year with $3,000 we'd saved from part-time jobs. Within 6 months, we had 500 paying customers. Within a year, 5,000. By the time we graduated, we were making $200,000 in annual revenue. We called the company Social Sync. Jessica owned 40%. I owned 40%. We gave 20% to early employees. I told my parents about it. Jessica and I started a software company. We're making real money. We're going to do this full-time after graduation. My mother's response: That's a nice hobby, Lauren, but you should get a real job. Use your degree at Microsoft or Amazon. This startup thing is too risky. We're already profitable. Profitable now. It'll fail. They always do. Don't throw away a good education on some app. Meanwhile, Brandon graduated from USC with a business degree and a 2.9 GPA. He'd partied his way through college on his parents' dime. My aunt threw him a graduation party that cost $25,000. 150 guests. They gave him a $50,000 BMW and announced they were funding his first year of living expenses while he found himself. My parents attended, gave a speech about how proud they were of Brandon's business acumen. Jessica and I didn't go to graduation ceremonies. We were too busy running our company. Over the next 5 years, Social Sync exploded. We raised venture capital, $3 million in Series A, $12 million in Series B. We grew from 6 employees to 85. Our software was being used by 50,000 businesses. We were generating $15 million in annual revenue. Tech publications called us the future of small business marketing. Jessica was brilliant as VP of Marketing. She understood our customers, built our brand, created campaigns that went viral. She was the face of the company while I handled product and technology. We were partners, equal, best friends who'd built something extraordinary together. Meanwhile, Brandon bounced between jobs. Marketing coordinator at his father's friend's company, fired after 8 months for performance issues. Sales rep at a tech startup, quit after 6 months because he didn't like the culture. Business development at another startup, let go after 4 months. But my family acted like he was destined for greatness. Brandon is finding his path. Brandon is being selective. Brandon has high standards. He was 28 years old, living off his parents, failing at every job, and somehow this was admirable. Last year, Brandon announced he was going to get his MBA. His parents paid the full $140,000 tuition for a mediocre program at a private university. This will set Brandon up for executive positions, my aunt gushed. He's going to be a CEO someday. My mother nodded enthusiastically. Unlike Lauren, who's still running that little app thing with her friend. That little app thing was now generating $28 million in annual revenue, with 140 employees across 3 offices. 6 months ago, Brandon graduated with his MBA. Immediately started applying for executive positions he was wildly unqualified for, including at my company. I was in a board meeting when our HR director, Patricia Kim, knocked on the door. Lauren, can I talk to you privately? In her office, she pulled out a file. Your cousin Brandon Hayes applied for our marketing director position, but we have a problem. What kind of problem? He came in for interviews with 3 different people. All 3, 2 women and 1 man, have filed complaints. The women reported sexual harassment, inappropriate comments about their appearance, suggestive remarks, asking personal questions about their relationships. The male interviewer reported hostile and entitled behavior when Brandon was asked technical questions he couldn't answer. My stomach dropped. Are you serious? Patricia showed me the written complaints. Direct quotes from Brandon. To our female marketing manager, you're too pretty to be this serious. You should smile more. Are you seeing anyone? To our female content director, I like your dress. You should wear it to our celebration dinner when I get this job. Maybe somewhere romantic? To our male senior marketing strategist, these questions are pointless. I have an MBA. I don't need to prove my knowledge to someone who's just a manager. We rejected his application immediately, Patricia said. But Lauren, these complaints need to be formally documented. If he applies again or tries to claim discrimination, we need this on record. Document everything, and if he or my family asks why he wasn't hired, refer them to me. 2 days later, my aunt called. Lauren, Brandon applied to Social Sync and was rejected. This is unacceptable. He's family. He has an MBA. You need to give him a proper interview. He had proper interviews. He wasn't qualified. Not qualified? He has an MBA from a top university. What does Jessica have? Some bachelor's degree? Brandon is family, and family deserves preference. Jessica is my co-founder and business partner. She owns 40% of the company, and Brandon harassed our interviewers. That's a lie! Brandon would never… We have documented complaints from 3 employees: sexual harassment and hostile behavior. My aunt hung up. But 2 weeks later, my parents called the family business discussion. 37 people gathered. My parents laid out their demand: fire Jessica, hire Brandon as VP of Marketing. Jessica is holding you back, my mother said. She's just your friend. Brandon is family and he's qualified now. He has an MBA. Jessica owns 40% of the company, I said calmly. I can't fire an owner. Then buy her out. Give her some money to go away. Brandon deserves this opportunity. My aunt added, Brandon has been looking for the right executive position for months. This is perfect for him. You're being selfish keeping Jessica in a role Brandon should have. Brandon sexually harassed our employees during his interviews. Shocked silence. That's slander, my aunt shouted. Brandon would never… We have documented complaints. 3 separate employees. Written statements. Brandon made inappropriate sexual comments to 2 women and was hostile to a male interviewer when he couldn't answer basic marketing questions. My uncle stood up, red-faced. Those are lies! Your employees are lying because they don't want Brandon to get the job. Our employees have no reason to lie. They didn't know Brandon was my cousin. He applied under his own credentials and failed spectacularly. My father tried to mediate. Lauren, even if there was some misunderstanding during the interviews, Brandon deserves another chance. Family gives family second chances. Second chances at sexual harassment? At creating a hostile work environment? My mother's voice got sharp. You're choosing your friend over your family. Jessica has manipulated you. She's probably jealous of Brandon. You need to fire her and hire Brandon. We're not asking. We're telling you. I'm not firing my business partner because you think my unemployed, sexual harassing cousin deserves her job. Then you're selfish and ungrateful. After everything we've done for you… What have you done for me? I interrupted. You gave me $50 for college graduation while Brandon got $50,000 and a BMW. You dismissed my business for years while praising Brandon's selective job hunting. You've never once asked about Social Sync's success. You don't even know what we do. My grandmother, who'd been silent until now, spoke up. What does your company do, Lauren? We provide AI-powered social media management for small businesses. We have 75,000 customers across 40 countries. We generate $28 million in annual revenue. We have 140 employees. We've been featured in TechCrunch, Forbes, and Bloomberg as one of the fastest-growing B2B software companies in the Pacific Northwest. Shocked silence. 28 million? My uncle's voice cracked. Yes. Jessica and I built it from nothing. She's not just my friend. She's my co-founder, my business partner, and the reason our marketing is best in class. My aunt recovered quickly. All the more reason to have Brandon there. Imagine what he could do with his MBA and executive training. He can't do anything. He couldn't answer basic marketing questions. He harassed our female employees. He's entitled, unqualified, and a liability. You're lying about the harassment to protect Jessica. No. I'm protecting my company from a lawsuit. Brandon created a hostile work environment in 3 separate interviews. If I hired him, we'd be sued within months. My father tried one more time. Lauren, think about family legacy. Brandon working at your company would unite our families, create opportunities for harassment lawsuits and terrible business decisions. No, I stood up. This discussion is over. I'm not firing Jessica. I'm not hiring Brandon. And if you continue to pressure me, I'll cut contact with all of you. left. 2 weeks later, my parents announced they were having their 40th anniversary party. Big celebration, 75 guests. They called me. "You need to come, and you need to apologize to Brandon and your aunt. You've caused a rift in this family." "I'm not apologizing for protecting my employees from sexual harassment." "Stop saying that. Brandon made some awkward comments. He's young. He didn't mean anything by it." "He's 30 years old, and our employees felt harassed enough to file formal complaints." "We're inviting Jessica," my mother said coldly, "so you can see her for what she really is, a manipulator who's turned you against your family." "Jessica is the best business partner I could ask for." "She's using you. Come to the party. See how out of place she is. She's not family." Against my better judgment, I agreed to attend. But I made a call first. Patricia Kim, our HR director, was furious when I told her about my family's demands. "They want you to fire your co-founder and hire someone we documented for sexual harassment. Lauren, this is unethical and illegal on multiple levels." "I know. What are you going to do?" "They're having an anniversary party, 75 people. They invited Jessica specifically to humiliate her. I'm thinking we make a different kind of impression." Patricia smiled slowly. "I have Brandon's complete file. Interview complaints, background check notes, everything. And Lauren? I found something else. After we rejected him, he posted on social media about how bitches in tech don't recognize real talent and how companies run by women are diversity hire disasters." Screenshots? Documented and notarized. "Bring everything, and bring our lawyer." The anniversary party was at a country club. 75 people in semi-formal attire, celebrating my parents' 40 years of marriage. Jessica and I arrived together. She looked beautiful in a navy dress. Several people did double takes when they saw her, probably recognizing her from tech publications. My aunt saw us and her face went sour. "Jessica, how nice of you to come." "Thank you for having me, Mrs. Patterson. Congratulations on your sister's anniversary." We moved through the crowd. I introduced Jessica to relatives she hadn't met. "This is my business partner and co-founder, Jessica Chen. We built Social Sync together." Most people were polite. A few were genuinely interested. "I read about your company in Forbes. Aren't you the ones who just raised $20 million in Series C funding?" Jessica smiled. "Yes, we closed that round last month. We're expanding internationally." My mother overheard and looked uncomfortable. She hadn't known about the Series C. At dinner, my father gave a toast. 40 years ago, I married my best friend. We've built a wonderful life, raised an amazing daughter, and been blessed with a nephew we love like a son. Not 2 amazing daughters, just one. Brandon was barely even a nephew anymore. He was practically their child. After dinner, my mother stood up. "I want to take this opportunity to address something important. Family." 75 people turned to listen. Family means putting each other first, supporting each other, making sacrifices for each other. She looked directly at me. "Some people forget that. They choose friends over family. They prioritize business over blood. They refuse to help family members who need opportunities." Brandon was smirking. "We've tried to counsel Lauren," my mother continued. "Tried to help her see that she owes Brandon a chance. He's qualified. He has an MBA. He deserves to work at her company. But she refuses to fire her friend Jessica to make room for family." Jessica's hand found mine under the table. I squeezed it. "So we're asking the family to weigh in. Should Lauren fire Jessica and hire Brandon? Should family come first?" Before anyone could respond, Patricia Kim walked in. Our HR director, professional in a business suit, carrying a leather folder. Behind her was David Chen, our company's lawyer. The room went silent. Patricia walked straight to the microphone. "Excuse me, I'm Patricia Kim, Director of Human Resources for Social Sync Technologies. I'm here to address some factual inaccuracies in Mrs. Hayes' statement." My mother went white. "Who invited you?" Lauren did. Because this isn't a family matter. This is a legal matter involving workplace harassment. She opened the folder. 6 months ago, Brandon Hayes applied for a marketing director position at SocialSync. He participated in 3 separate interviews with 3 different employees. Brandon was staring at the table. Following those interviews, Patricia continued, we received 3 formal harassment complaints. She read them aloud, every word, every inappropriate comment Brandon made to our female employees, every hostile exchange with the male interviewer. 75 people listened in horrified silence. These complaints were documented, investigated, and verified, Patricia said. Under company policy and federal employment law, Brandon Hayes is now flagged as a risk candidate and cannot be hired under any circumstances. My aunt was crying. Those women are lying. Patricia pulled out more papers. These are sworn affidavits from the complainants, willing to testify if necessary. We also have Brandon's social media posts after his rejection. Condensed version, 600 words. Brandon's posts clear as day. Bitches in tech think they're so smart, can't recognize real talent when they see it. Companies run by women are diversity hire disasters. All feelings, no business sense. If you have a dick and an MBA, you're still less qualified than some girl with a coding certificate in Seattle. This city is a joke. Gasps around the room. My grandmother looked disgusted. David Chen, our lawyer, stepped forward. If Brandon Hayes continues to disparage SocialSync on social media, we will pursue defamation claims. And if Mrs. Hayes continues to pressure Lauren to fire a co-owner, we'll consider that tortious interference with business relations. This is a family matter, my father said. This is an employment law matter, David corrected. Brandon sexually harassed employees. Lauren's decision to reject him was legally required to protect the company. Patricia added, for context, Jessica Chen is not an employee who can be fired. She's a co-founder who owns 40% of SocialSync. The company is valued at $160 million. Jessica's stake is worth $64 million. She's not some expendable marketing manager. She's a co-owner and the architect of your company's entire market strategy. You could have heard a pin drop. My uncle whispered, $64 million? Yes, I said clearly. Jessica and I built a $160 million company together, as equal partners. She's not my employee. She's my business partner and best friend. And there is no universe in which I'd fire her to hire a sexual harasser with an MBA and no experience. My grandmother stood up. Brandon, did you write those things about women? Did you say inappropriate things to the women who interviewed you? Silence. Then you're a disgrace. Your parents raised you to think you're special when you're not. She turned to my mother. And you? 35 years ignoring Lauren's accomplishments while praising Brandon's mediocrity. She built a $160 million company. She employs 140 people. And you wanted her to destroy it to give your harassing, unqualified nephew a job he doesn't deserve. I'm ashamed of all of you. Lauren, you deserved better. I stood up. Jessica and I are leaving. SocialSync is hiring. Qualified candidates who understand professional behavior are welcome to apply. Brandon is not. In the parking lot, Jessica hugged me. Thank you for defending me. You're my partner, my best friend. I'd defend you against anyone, especially my family. They've never valued me. But you have, since day one. That was 8 weeks ago. Brandon's posts went viral. Tech Twitter roasted him. Several companies rescinded their offers. My aunt and uncle claimed his account was hacked. No one believed them. My parents sent apology emails. We didn't know Brandon had harassed anyone. We didn't know Jessica owned 40%. I didn't respond. My grandmother called. Lauren, I'm proud of you. Don't ever let your family make you doubt Jessica. Never. SocialSync is thriving. We just closed a $30 million Series D at a $220 million valuation, expanding to Europe and Asia. 200 employees now. Jessica and I are still partners, still best friends, still building something extraordinary together. My family emails occasionally, usually when they see press about Social Sync's growth. They want back in now that success is undeniable. But they had 35 years to support me. They chose Brandon instead. Blood doesn't entitle anyone to my business, my loyalty, or my friendship. I'm 35. I'm a tech CEO. I've built a $220 million company with my best friend, and I'm free from people who never saw my value. Protect your team. Honor your partnerships. Maintain your standards. The people who matter will respect your boundaries. The people who don't never respected you in the first place. And you deserve better than that.